As learners grow in capability, something deeper begins to shift, not just what they think or how they act, but what they value. Learning, at its highest form, is actualized through the transformation of value systems. It reshapes what we consider important, how we prioritize effort, and why we choose one path over another. To understand this transformation, we need to first clarify what we mean by value and value systems, and then explore how these evolve as human needs evolve. In the next part, we will walk through a value establishment path aligned with the hierarchy of needs, revealing how learners progressively move from survival-driven choices to purpose-driven contributions, and how this evolution quietly determines the quality, direction, and meaning of the life they build. Before we talk about designing a value system, we need to agree on something fundamental. What do we actually mean by value? In everyday life, we already understand value in two common ways. The first is straightforward. Value is the return we expect for the price we pay. When you buy a product or subscribe to a service, you expect it to do what it promised. Nothing more, nothing less. If it delivers, you feel the exchange was fair. The second perception goes a step further. Value is also the extra, the surplus beyond expectation. It could be a discount, a thoughtful add-on, better support, or simply an experience that feels richer than anticipated. That surplus is often what creates delight, loyalty, and trust. Both perceptions matter, and both must be accounted for when learners design their own value systems. So, what is a value system? A value system is not a random collection of beliefs. It is an ordered set of values. Some matter more than others. It is inherently prioritized, even when we are not consciously aware of it. It guides decisions, behaviors, and judgments, especially when choices are difficult. And while it often remains implicit, it becomes clearly visible during trade-offs and crises, when not everything can be preserved at once. For example, when time is limited, do you choose learning or comfort? When pressure is high, do you prioritize integrity or convenience? Your answers reveal your value system, whether you've defined it or not. At the root of all value perception lies one powerful driver: expectation, which itself is shaped by needs. What we value depends on what we currently need, what we lack, and what we aspire toward. That is why, going forward, we will anchor the framework of values in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Because as needs evolve, values evolve. And as values evolve, so does the way learners define success, make choices, and contribute to the world. Understanding this progression is essential, not just to live intentionally, but to design a value system that grows with you rather than holds you back. To understand how learners build value systems, we need to see how value expectations change as human needs evolve. Let's walk up the hierarchy, using everyday experiences rather than abstract theory. At the physiological level, value is about availability and effort. When a need is basic, we ask very practical questions. Is it available when I need it? Does it work reliably? Can I acquire it without excessive cost or effort? Can I sustain it over time? And does the cost remain stable? Think of essentials like food, internet connectivity, or electricity. At this level, value is not about delight. It's about dependable access. As we move to safety and security, value shifts from availability to protection. Now the questions become, is it safe to use? What happens if it fails? Can it be repaired easily? Am I protected through warranty, insurance, or support if something goes wrong? A vehicle, a medical service, or even a financial product is judged heavily on these dimensions. Reliability alone is no longer enough. Assurance matters. At the level of belongingness, value becomes social. Here we begin to look outward. Are others using it? Do they like it? What are the reviews saying? Does the provider recognize me as a user? Do they listen to my feedback? Will they support me when I need help? Think of communities around platforms, brands, or learning ecosystems. Value now includes connection, recognition, and shared experience. As esteem needs come into play, value turns inward again, but at a higher level. We ask, Does this align with my identity? Does it enhance how I'm perceived? Does it make me feel good? Do I enjoy owning or using it? Luxury brands, leadership roles, or even certain skills derive much of their value here, not from necessity, but from meaning and self-worth. At the level of self-actualization, value becomes directional. The questions now are profound. Is this helping me grow? Is it taking me toward advancement? Is it aligned with the purpose I want to fulfill? Learning, mentorship, meaningful work, and purpose-driven platforms derive their value here. The exchange is no longer transactional, it's transformational. What this progression reveals is simple but powerful. Value is never absolute. It is shaped by need, and as per the needs, the value one seeks and the value one must offer must evolve accordingly. Understanding this hierarchy is the first step toward designing value systems that are not only relevant today, but resilient for the future. So far, we've seen how human needs shape value expectations. The next important step is understanding how those expectations become something real, something that can be established, observed, and improved. Value does not remain a feeling for long. Very quickly, expectations turn into factors, and factors turn into signals. Let's walk through this transformation layer by layer. At the physiological level, value expectations are basic and practical. Questions like, is it available when I need it? Is the quality acceptable? Can I acquire and sustain it without excessive cost or effort? Is the cost stable over time? These expectations translate directly into availability factors, quality satisfaction indicators, and cost stability and optimization metrics. For example, uptime percentage, defect rates, total cost of ownership, these are measurable signals that basic value is being delivered. At the safety and security level, expectations shift toward protection and dependability. We ask, is it safe? What happens if it fails? Can it be repaired easily? Am I protected from loss? These questions become safety factors, reliability and dependability indicators, and protection or insurance mechanisms. Think warranties, service level guarantees, recovery time, and risk coverage. Again, observable and controllable factors. At the level of belongingness, value becomes relational. Now we ask, are others using it? Do they trust it? Am I recognized as a user? Is my feedback heard? Will I be supported when I need help? These expectations translate into connectivity indicators, support availability, community engagement, and feedback management systems. User communities, response times, and feedback loops make belonging tangible. At the esteem level, value becomes experiential and symbolic. Questions like, does this align with my identity? Does it enhance my social image? Do I enjoy owning or using it? These lead to endorsement signals, relatability indicators, and self-satisfaction measures, such as brand perception, peer recognition, and user delight. At the level of self-actualization, value becomes transformational. We ask, is this helping me grow? Is it moving me toward advancement? Is it aligned with my purpose? These expectations become self-advancement indicators, growth signals, and purpose fulfillment markers, progress milestones, learning curves, and long-term impact. What this shows us is something powerful. Value can be designed. When expectations are understood, they can be translated into factors. When factors are defined, they can be observed, measured, and improved. And this is the mindset learners must adopt, not just as consumers of value, but as creators of it. What we have done in this part is bring clarity to something that often feels abstract, intuitive, or even invisible. We've seen that value is not accidental, value systems are not random, and growth is not mysterious. What we value emerges from what we need. What we need shapes what we expect, and what we expect can be deliberately translated into factors we can observe, influence, and improve. This understanding is powerful, not because it simplifies life, but because it makes it navigable. There is a quiet joy in realizing that the evolution of values is something we can consciously participate in rather than passively inherit. And as learners, that awareness itself is progress. Because once you can see how value forms, shifts, and establishes itself, you are no longer just responding to the world. You are learning how to shape the life you are building with intent and confidence.